Customers like the practicality of small MPV people carriers, but sales in this category are falling because small SUVs are more charismatic. So, what if you could produce a little MPV with the charisma of a little SUV? That's the thinking behind Fiat's much improved 500L.
Potential 500L owners will come to this Fiat knowing it to be a more grown-up car than its city car stablemate. They'll know that it won't be quite the same to drive, and of course it isn't, although you do get the light steering that marks that little tiddler out. This, in combination with great all-round visibility, aided by this high upright driving position, makes the 500L very much in its element around town. You really notice how much easier this car is to see out of when you're at junctions, and that's helped by a clever A-pillar front quarter-light design, offering the same kind of curved windscreen look that characterised this car's spiritual predecessor, the Multipla model of the 1950s. It all adds to the urban confidence, only marred by ride quality. It's a bit on the firm side, although it rarely gets uncomfortable. This, in short, is a car that you might enjoy on the school run. Beyond the city limits, though, the 500L feels much less assured. Here you might wish that the steering offered you a little more feedback and that wind and road noise weren't quite so prominent. Under the bonnet, the range is based around either 95 or 120 bhp petrol or diesel engine options. The green pump fuel power plants are both 1.4 litres in size, with the 120 bhp turbocharged T-Jet unit infinitely superior to its feebler, normally aspirated alternative. Most buyers, though, will want one of the multi-jet diesels, either the 95 bhp 1.3 litre unit, which comes with a dual-logic auto transmission option, or the 120 bhp 1.6 litre power plant, which is capable of up to 67.3 mpg on the combined cycle and 112 grams per kilometre of CO2. There are three 500L body style options, the standard urban model, the 7-seat wagon, and the top SUV style cross variant that we're trying here. Cross buyers get a raised ride height and a mode selector giving extra traction plus and gravity control driving settings for light off-road use. You tend to approach this 500L expecting it to be a pumped-up version of the 500 city car, which of course it isn't. To make this model as big as it needed to be, fully 60 centimetres longer and 18 centimetres taller than an ordinary 500, Andreas Wuppinger's styling team had to use a Punto Super Mini floor plan as a basis for something quite different, and then give the end result a recognisable 500-style twist, hence the familiar wide-eyed front end. As for the changes made to this revised model, well, they've mainly been about creating more of a visual family connection between this car and the 500 city runabout that Fiat hopes many potential buyers will be graduating to it from. These uniquely illuminated mid-level daytime running lights are, for example, borrowed from the most recently improved version of that smaller car. Time to move inside, where quite a few changes have been made to try to lift the rather limited showroom appeal that afflicted the cabin of the original version of this car. Now, that awful dished steering wheel of the original model has been replaced by this much smarter circular bezeled item, and through it you view a completely revamped instrument cluster with two round gauges either side of a neat 3.5-inch colour graphic display. Perhaps the most significant cabin improvement, though, lies here in the centre of the fascia with the addition of this next-generation Uconnect infotainment system. Time to take a seat in the rear, which is where, in theory at least, you ought to notice that this 500L is one of the longer Super Mini-based MPVs in its segment. Once inside, you'll find a rear cabin that, sure enough, really does feel quite spacious by class standards, mainly because it offers more headroom than any other model in this part of the MPV segment. The lengthier wagon model extends its rear overhang by enough to allow the installation of a third seating row, although, as you might expect, the two extra pews on offer are only really intended for young children. Finally, let's take a look in the boot. An MPV like this one that's based on Super Mini underpinnings is of course never going to be able to offer the size of cargo area that you get in a much pricier family hatch-based Scenic or C-Max sector 5-seat people carrier. Still, within the confines of the class, this 500L does pretty well with 400 litres of capacity on offer. It's a very usable space too, thanks to the standard so-called cargo magic space adjustable height boot floor that you'll get, providing you avoid entry-level trim. If you need more room, folding down the rear seat backs frees up a 1,310 litre capacity in this 5-seat variant, or up to 1,509 litres in the wagon model. In summary, what we have here, a little confusingly, is a little MPV that doesn't feel especially little, nor in some ways does it feel especially like an MPV. Now, Fiat thinks that's a good thing, here delivering us a compact, versatile and very individual contender, able to take care of people and baggage carrying chores with a practical dash of Italian flair. For them, it's the 500 all grown up, and it's a sensible family car you could really feel good about.